Izzy here, and I remember a time not long ago when my Sundays were dictated by scripture, my beliefs by dogma, and my spiritual world felt incredibly small. Every prayer was structured, every doubt suppressed. Then something shifted for me. It was the quiet pull towards my ancestors. For Sarah, it was the undeniable call of intuition, guiding her away from the familiar and into the unknown. We both ended up in places we never expected, trading hymns for hexes and sermons for spirit work.
Welcome to Just Another Statistic, hosted by Sarah and Izzy. This is where we lay bare our deconstruction from Christianity and our vibrant, sometimes challenging transition into witchcraft and personal spirituality. We're here to share the blueprint of our spiritual rebuilding, one honest conversation at a time.
Whether you're someone who diligently attended church for decades or you've always felt a magnetic pull towards something other, this podcast is for you. We'll explore the hows and whys of our journey, discussing everything from finding new community to understanding ancient practices and navigating family dynamics. Our goal is to connect through our stories, acknowledging that while our paths are unique, the quest for authentic spirituality is a universal human experience. Join us as we explore the rich tapestry of spirituality beyond the statistics.
Before we begin, we want to share a brief but important message. To protect the privacy and identities of everyone involved, we will not be using the real names of people or churches in our story. We will also want to acknowledge that every story has at least two sides, and what you're about to hear is simply our story, sharing our experiences from our unique perspective. We've dedicated a lot of time to healing from these experiences and will continue this journey, and we sincerely wish nothing but love and light for all the individuals whose paths we have intersected with ours.
Nice. All right, so episode 1, everybody, Just Another Statistic. This episode is called Just Another Statistic, and we're going to explain to you today why we've decided to call our podcast that. So this is really Sarah's story, more than mine. I'm kind of a background, a minor character in this story, but I'm going to kind of set the scene up for us and then let Sarah go ahead and tell her story. So this scene is in what we're calling Mega Church number 2, which has an average attendance of about 1,800 people every Sunday. And then the church's yearly revenue is about $7.5 million a year. And on there, on the website that I looked, they said that the average employee gets about $124,000 a year, which is a blatant lie. And then we're going to be talking about a pastor who we're going to refer to as Mr. Grace. He is now an elder at that church. He wasn't when this story took place. He was just a lower rung pastor. And he runs the adult and family and equipping ministries, which I don't really know what an equipping ministry is. Is that like the sound system or something like that?
That's doing life together.
So premarital.
Yeah, premarital and counseling.
Like, that's such a weird way to put it. The equipping ministries. Okay. So I left about 2 months before you left the church, or this church in particular. And really the reason that I left was that Mr. Grace's youngest son had verbally abused me one night, and I left very upset. I remember I had a panic attack in the car driving home that night. And Mr. Grace actually called me while I was driving home, and he didn't say it in this few of words, because you know how he likes to
ramble.
Yes. But he said that pretty much that I deserved what his son had said to me, and then like also reframed it as it just being a joke. But I was pretty much done after that. And then I came in that Sunday, told you and Sugar Cube that I was leaving, and told him that I was leaving. He kind of asked me why, and I think I told him like I wasn't feeling fellowship. And I was gonna go to church with my parents, I think is what I told him. And I don't really feel like he cared when I left. So
No, there was a lot going on then.
Yeah. So that puts us at the beginning of your version of this.
I was like, I'm going to give you some context of kind of what we were sitting in at this time at this church. At this time, the youth pastor had left, the main pastor had left, many other pastors had left. We didn't have a children's pastor at the time, which created a power vacuum, if you will, inside the church. And Mr. Grace was snatching up lots of ministries, just different ministries. So student ministry was one of them, which I was a student ministry assistant at that time. So I was on staff. After growing up at this church for many, many years. And then it literally switched the summer before we both left. It went from preaching grace, 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 this is what we believe, to curriculum. How do we put butts in the seats? Pretty much. And that left a pretty bad sour taste in my mouth from the beginning. And after I think right around you, when you left, the couple left.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
was like a couple weeks before me.
Yeah. And so the couple left, you left, and the Sunday that she left, I was going to leave. I was so mad because she said it first. And I was like, well, no, I can't go. And then we were discussing doing a Disciple Now and trying to put that together. And I was like, I can't leave yet. I can't just abandon my students.
Yeah.
And was the only reason I was staying there. And we happened to have a meeting. It was me and Sugar Cube on staff at that point. Everybody else had left. Mr. Grace had come into our office, and we were sitting down and we were talking about it. And I don't even remember what like sparked the conversation, but it was, how are you guys feeling about the student ministry? What's going on in the church? And Sugar Cube had already brought up her own concerns that she was seeing and was dismissed.
Yeah.
Right out. And then I said blatantly that I was only there for my girls because I was a student leader. I was there for the mid-school, high school girls. And he said to me straight out, Sarah, you're being half in and half out. And it would be better for you to choose a side. Be either all in or all out. And I was like, oh, so this is my invitation to leave.
Which is not really what he wanted. Like when he said that, it was him scaring you into like doing what he wanted. It wasn't like no, if you feel like leaving is the right choice, leave. It was like, no, you do what I say or
get out.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's what it was. He was trying to, I think it was a scare tactic. It was a control, a manipulation. At least that's how I took it. I'm pretty sure that's how Sugar Cube took it, because I talked to her multiple times after about that conversation specifically.
Yeah.
And it was very much oh, I'm on the verge. And that's when I'm pretty sure my anger was triggered. I was ready to fight. I was ready to fight. And I'm pretty sure he felt my anger. Because there was a couple of different meetings where he's like, Sarah, you okay? I'm like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I was not. I was mad. And then it was looking like D Now was going to fall apart. Nobody was signing up. We had like 2 students sign up. So
it was like a youth retreat, right?
It was at home retreat, like a weekend walk, a lock-in, if you will.
Yeah.
And that was looking like it was going to go. So I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm done. We were in a meeting again, and he saw my anger, and he was like, what's going on? And I was like, I think I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm mad, and nobody's listening.
Mm-hmm.
And so we canceled the D Now, and instead we had like a girls' night type thing.
Yeah.
For our girls. And I specifically went to Mr. Grace after I put in my resignation, and I gave him a month for my resignation. And I said, I do not want it to be like everybody else of coming in, doing a lesson, and then saying, oh, by the way, this is my last Sunday, bye. Because that's happened time and time again. It happened with the couple. It happened with our previous pastor. It's happened with multiple of our previous pastors when I was growing up. And I'm like, that's not okay. That's not cool. It doesn't give the girls a lot of time to digest or ask questions or anything.
Yeah, which is not what they wanted. Like, there's a reason that they just had you guys leave without saying anything. It's because they didn't want the kids asking questions. You know, is really what it came down to. So
yeah.
So what did he do in response?
It was a power play.
Yeah.
It was a power play, and every time I brought it up, he's like, well, I'm not going to be there this Sunday, or I'm not going to be there during this interaction. So he literally made me stay quiet until my last Sunday.
Yeah.
And so my last Sunday came. It was announced that I was leaving. My girls were crying. I was mad. But that was that.
Rightfully.
And then that next week, I went in for my last day. It was actually after that, I was like, well, I'm free. It's going to be fine. And went around the entire church, said bye to those who I actually knew and were friends with. And we went to lunch. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then we were standing in front of our offices in the hallway, and he pulls me aside and he goes, Sarah, what are you going to do after this? I'm just a little worried for you because I don't want you to become another statistic.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I was leaving a church, a building, an organization.
Yeah. You were quitting a job.
I was quitting a job.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden my faith gets wrangled into it.
Yeah.
I'm no longer a believer because I was no longer at this church.
Yeah. So the actual statistics of young people leaving the church, that was 2019 when we left Mega Church number 2. The statistics in 2019 were 64% of young people were leaving the churches they were attending, which I assume means the churches that they grew up in, like you. But only 22% of that 64% were actually leaving Christianity altogether, which we were very much still Christians at this time. But I think a lot of young people who leave get referred to as church dropouts. And then the whole they left church just to sin, which is
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous notion because let's be honest, we don't need to leave church to sin.
There's enough right there inside that building.
Yeah. When really, and in mass, from what I've seen of like the huge numbers of young people leaving, it's very similar to us. There's no acceptance from the older generation to the younger generations. And then difficult questions get discouraged. We're told not to ask things, or that we're questioning too much, or
we're sinning because we're questioning, having doubts.
Yeah. When really it just comes down to they don't know the answers, so they're gonna tell you to shut up, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So, what do you feel Mr. Grace was implying by using the term statistic in that context?
I think he was in that moment more trying to say that I was losing my faith.
Mm-hmm.
He was, because you heard the numbers, many young people, because we were in our 20s. I was in my late 20s when we left that church.
Yeah.
Where he was leaving church altogether, or going to try a different church. But from the way he said it to me, it felt malicious, as if because I was leaving that specific church, which was under his control,
Mm-hmm.
I was losing my faith in what I grew up believing.
Yeah. How did you grapple with that label?
Oh, I was mad.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing. I was, I'm pretty sure Sugar Cube even said it because she was standing nearby when he said it to me. And she was like, I thought you were going to blow a gasket. Because it was insulting.
Yeah.
And I was so mad about it. I'm pretty sure I went home and I think I talked to my mom about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm mad.
Yeah.
And I think she got mad with me. My mom, Dana, a wonderful Black woman.
Yeah.
She was like, Mom, you're talking to my baby that way. How dare you?
Yeah.
And it was like, I think after that, the trust was broken already.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it just burned it all the way to the ground.
Yeah. Salt in the wound.
Yeah. And it was like, I had already had distrust in Mr. Grace at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want anything to do with him after that.
Yeah. What do you feel like the healing process for that has been for you?
I think it was one, moving on to a different church.
Mm-hmm.
And being like, look, I didn't become another statistic. Also, my mom said to me and my brother always growing up, was we followed God, not man.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that kind of prepared me for it, because I was like, this is the thought of one man.
Yeah.
I know my relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't see my hurt. He doesn't know what I'm going through. He doesn't know where I'm strong or where my struggles are, even though he wanted to.
Yeah.
And be in control of those things. I kind of brushed it off, honestly. And was like, there is no power in those words, because I know who I actually serve.
Yeah.
So
you don't, I mean, it was insulting in the moment, but you don't feel like it's something that you ever took
to heart? No.
Yeah.
No, never took that to heart. I was done with him at that point. He was pretty much talking nonsense.
Yeah.
So I was like, fine.
How do you feel like this experience reflects in a larger pattern of how churches treat individuals who choose a different path.
I think it's exactly that. A young person or any person, they start asking questions, showing doubts, and, speaking truths honestly. And if the church cannot put them down or shut them up or scare them into compliance, they shun them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's, oh, you were never a Christian in the first place.
Yes. Yeah.
Or, you lost your faith along the way because you were hanging out with XYZ.
Yeah.
That type of thing. I think it's a very prevalent pattern of, if anybody tries to show a voice that doesn't sound like theirs or align with theirs, they try to crush it.
Yeah.
And then discredit it.
Yeah. I agree with that because for me and my family, like we church hopped a bunch growing up. Like I've been in a bunch of different churches in my life. And that was something we had gotten told every time we left a church, is that we weren't Christians anymore, or that we never were. And it's, because we didn't agree with their specific interpretation of the Bible, and a lot of it was over revelations, which is all prophetic and hasn't happened anyway, according to some other denominations believe it has. But yeah, that was just something we'd gotten told constantly. And it blows my mind how adamantly, like, my parents still, even though they don't go to church now, still defend the church. And I'm like, how many times have you been told your faith is fake, though?
Yeah.
And you're still over here defending it.
Or trying to look good in their eyes.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. So explain why we chose to turn this negative prediction into the very name of our platform.
It's a reclaiming. It's showing that we took the power back. We weren't going to let one person dictate our spiritual walk.
Yeah.
Honestly. I think it was your idea, and it was funny. It didn't even click in my head until she said it, and I was like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Because it's exactly what happened, though.
Yeah.
In the end, we became another statistic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the funny part of it, is that we did end up becoming the statistic that he was mentioning. But also, it's just like, I feel like with the way things continue to end, if he was really that first, I mean, I don't even want to say like the first drop in the bucket, because he wasn't the first drop in the bucket, but it was really like the big splash. And just the continued pattern of pastors and men telling us what our faith and what our life needed to look like.
And on top of that, we were already, I'm a Black woman.
Yeah.
That at that time had a shaved head and multiple tattoos showing.
Yeah.
So, and you had tattoos and were very alternative looking. So in their mind, we were evil. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we weren't the ideal women, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was just, it kind of snowballed, maybe starting with him and then ending with other pastors, but
he kind of set the foundation.
Yeah. It's like weird looking back on it, because they all said the same thing, but using different words, really. Yes. So,
yes.
Yeah. So, finally, how do you feel that this originating moment informs the type of stories that we're going to tell in the community we're aiming to build here?
Honestly, I hope you guys understand that this is real talk. Um, we're not beating around the bush. We're not going to sugarcoat it. These are our experiences, our lived experiences. And even though at the time it was hard and dark, I think there's going to be so much healing and light coming out of going through these stories and these experiences and just kind of talking it out. And my hope is, as time goes on and our community grows, you guys can resonate with maybe some of our stories, um, and maybe feel empowered to leave if that's what you need to do, or speak up if that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
But also just know you are not alone.
Yeah.
You are most definitely not alone, because I know that path can feel so lonely.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were really lucky in having each other in it. That's something that both of us have acknowledged many times, is at least we were together. So many people have to go through that journey by themselves.
Exactly.
For me, I feel like this is about us taking ownership over the narrative. I feel like, especially with the way things finally came to a head and ended, we really let others control the narrative because we didn't have any power in that situation. So this is about us taking our power back and really telling our side of the story.
Using our voice that we thought we didn't have.
Yeah. And shouting it
Loudly.
Yeah. So, yeah. Do you have anything else to add before we end?
I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. We look forward to bringing you more. And yeah.
Thank you for tuning into Just Another Statistic. Each episode, we aim to explore the profound shifts that occur when we bravely step away from inherited beliefs and embrace new spiritual awakenings. This path from Christianity to witchcraft and spirituality is one of constant evolution, marked by unique turning points and deeply felt emotions.
We believe that every deconstruction, every spiritual discovery is a powerful story waiting to be told. If you've been in a similar path or are just beginning to ask the difficult questions, we invite you to share your personal journey with us. Whether it's a specific moment of realization, a challenge you overcome or having, or a newfound sense of peace, your story adds vital depth to this conversation. Send us an email at
JA Statistics.
I'm going to get there. jastatistics@gmail.com, or connect with us on social media at Just Another Statistic Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. We're curious about what you're struggling with and what you care about and how our podcast has inspired you.
Your voice matters, and by sharing it, you help build a vibrant community for those who might feel like outliers or just another statistic. Don't forget to follow our podcast to stay with us on this journey. And if this episode brought you value, please share it with someone who needs to hear it.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.